Are you an athlete that struggles with chronic injuries? Have you had an injury in the past that you thought you recovered from, but once you get to competition it creeps up on you and either limits you in the competition or knocks you out of the competition as a whole? Well, I'm Dr. John Bartemus, and in today's episode of Accelerate Chiropractic, I'm excited to share with you a new offering from my practice. I'm an avid competitive CrossFitter, and I see a lot of CrossFit athletes as well as a few elite CrossFit athletes. And what I'm seeing is these athletes are injured frequently because of a lack of mobility, a lack of spinal organization, and just a lack of knowing how to take care of themselves. So I'm not saying that these athletes don't already do the mobility in the box. They do their pre-foam rolling, their lacrosse balls, their bands, and some of them do it post as well. I'm 100% for that. That is necessary. But these athletes have underlying fundamental mobility issues and movement problems that just rolling pre and post aren't going to address. These have to be addressed by a professional with an eye that's trained to take them through some movement screens, see where their dysfunctions are or maybe their weak inhibited muscles are, and tailor a program to that specific athlete for their specific problem. That's what I'm doing right now with an elite CrossFitter that you all may know, Kyle Ruth of CrossFit Lake Norman. He has qualified for the regionals for the second year in a row, and last year was on quite a tear before the fourth WOD injured his the 50-40-30 WOD. He sustained a back injury during the squats that didn't knock him out of competition, but it pretty much limited him and his chances of making it to day 3 and the games. This year we're working to head that off, and Kyle asked me to create an individualized mobility program for him, which I have done. And what we did was we started by taking him through some functional movement screens, finding his weaknesses, and tailoring fundamental movements to Kyle to rebuild him from the ground up. So this isn't just mobility. Some of this stuff is actual strengthening of muscles that are inhibited due to poor posture, postural faults, and movement syndromes that the average person isn't aware of, but that a trained professional doctor of chiropractic like myself can see quickly. So what we've done with Kyle is we've given him mobility things to work on, absolutely, but we've also given him other functional movement screens and tests and exercises to strengthen those weak inhibited muscles and bring him his sequencing of muscle activation back online so that he can be as strong as possible in competition. So what it looks like is he's not necessarily weak and his muscles aren't weak, but because he is firing those muscles out of sequence from when they should be in order to activate them, they are functionally weak or inhibited due to not firing them at the proper time, in the proper moment. And that sets you up for injury, because then you're asking other muscles that aren't supposed to do the job, say in a squat, to compensate for the glutes. So say he hurt his back last year in a squat WOD because he wasn't firing his glutes correctly. His erectors and QL had to make up for the slack, and by day 2 of a CrossFit regional competition, you're tapped out. If you're not getting 100% from the proper muscles, you're going to be injured, and that's what happened. So we're heading that off this year. He's competing next week, but this is now an offering that's available to all CrossFitters in Charlotte, not just the LKN box, but Vitality, Steel Creek, Charlotte, every box around. I'd be happy to work with you athletes and take you apart piece by piece, find out your fundamental flaws, and then rebuild you so that you can prevent injury, you can perform to your optimum, and you can go out and dominate whatever competitions you're taking part in. So I'm Dr. John Bartemus, and I would love to work with you and take those nagging chronic injuries that creep up at the most unfortunate times and eliminate them altogether. Give me a call. Have a great day.